Yo, what is going on YouTube? It is Shaq85 here, your champion of PWBC Season 3. Welcome to the rewind of the championship season. This is going to be very, very similar to what I did for the 13 videos ago, 12 videos ago, something like that. The retrospective of Season 2. So this is very much going to be podcast style. There's going to be very little editing, if at all. I really haven't decided what I'm going to do on it yet, to be honest. Again, podcast style, I'm just going to be rambling on and talking for 20, 30-ish minutes, give my thoughts on everything like that. I will say I'm overall better season, not just because I won the championship, but just overall I had a lot more fun this season, which is a little bit weird because I think I brought a little bit more fun sets last season. But it probably has to do with some bias with some championship. But with that being said, we're just gonna get right into it. So these are all the teams. In order. Yeah, in order, I believe. So Wurmple, Nega, Nega, Wurmple, Soup, Boaz, Rini, Joe, Bago, Club, Joe, Wurmple, and Nega in the championship. We're just gonna go through, give my talks on most major things, to be honest. With the going back to last season with the Wurmple die, I was pretty set. I understood I didn't bring a crazy demesh team, and going into it, like I said in the draft build, I had a very, very high belief that I was drafting Iron Bundle, and it was just so Iron Bundle's my number one, Golden Go was my number two, and then kind of fills out from there. And then Golden Go got picked. I was like, whatever. Gouging Fire was up there. Overall team wise, I'm pretty happy with the team I drafted. I think there's some one flaw, and we'll get into this when we talk about it. But Iron Bundle as my captain of the season, phenomenal. It came to every single one of the weeks. I think I brought it pretty differently. I didn't really repeat that many move sets. We have the heavy duty boots in week 1, specs in week 2, which is what I brought versus Wurmple again. Leftovers week 3. Choice specs, but a different speeds creep and stuff like that. Again, choice specs. I brought choice specs that many times, dude. I don't even remember bringing choice specs that many times. I thought I brought it like 4 times. So the wide lens one was really, really cool. I'm very, very happy about this set. Specifically, we're gonna mention this real quick. The wide lens Iron Bundle, fantastic on my part. I think this was against the Sand team. We'll get into the week to week breakdown in a little bit. Agility wide lens I think was a really, really cool set. This allows me to outspeed his entire Sand team, and it's like Scarf Torn and stuff like that. So I was very, very happy with that. My favorite tech set was probably this one, even though it didn't activate. I thought it was very, very niche. Obviously, like the amount of times I run choice specs and stuff like that, to bring Rendo Berry, I thought it was really cool. And then during like the middle half of the season, I started to realize like I like Tech Bundle. And so like obviously it was like the tech. What is the Tech Bundle set of the week? This is the Tech Bundle set of the week, and moving with these EVs and moving with this item and stuff like that. So overall, Bundle as a captain, it did exactly what I thought it was gonna do. It might have been the starter show, and it was the starter show, and obviously like, especially towards the last 2 battles of the season, it became very much the star of the show. But I probably knew it wasn't going to be the overall star of the show, but as a captain, I think it lived up to the hype of like Samurai Hisui. I think it did a little bit more Samurai Hisui, but it was definitely on the Annihilate Ragnarok style, which is exactly what I wanted to have my first overall pick. So Roaring Moon, we'll get into Roaring Moon. I didn't think I used Roaring Moon as well as I could have. I will admit that. I had no intention of drafting Roaring Moon. It just because it fell to me, I was like, let's play with it. I think a really interesting one. I mean, I basically brought almost always the same set. It was pretty common when I brought Roaring Moon. It was a choice banner with boost energy attack. The Assault Fist one I think was really, 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 really cool. Shout out to Nega. I think Nega created this, or maybe I suggested this. I'm not 100% sure. But we needed something social defensive wise, and it was just happened to be Roaring Moon. So I think overall this is my favorite set. Assault Vest 4 attacks, with pretty speedy nature and like max HP, and yeah. Overall, the favorite Roaring Moon set. Roaring Moon, I give Bundle an A+ tier because it did exactly what I thought, did a little bit more than I thought, and became the overall staple of the team. Roaring Moon, I think is a solid A-. Nothing crazy. I wish I would have done more with it. I think I definitely towards the end of the season, I definitely started to not only experiment more, but I got a little bit more fluid in with my team building, and I got to understand like how this team is really built. I don't think in the beginning of the season I really built it correctly. That's just learning from the team. Um, Great Tusk, I believe is next. Skeledirge. We'll do Skeledirge. I decided to draft Skeledirge because I didn't use it great in season 1 of this league, and I wanted redemption for it, and I didn't get it. I think the reason is maybe I'm just not good with Skeledirge, full-heartedly. It's just kind of how it is. I kind of wanted to be the like defensive wall and be all this, and it just didn't come to very many matches. And when it did, there was nothing really standouty. Came to 1, 2, 3, 4 matches in what 11 weeks, 12 weeks, something like that. So I didn't live up to what I would usually draft to, and that was okay. Like I said, the team honestly just went in a complete opposite direction than what I thought it was. I thought Skeledirge, Great Tusk, Vesindipity were gonna be the like, and Toad Scroll were gonna be the main like focus of like the defensive core, and it ended up being Rachi, Great Tusk, Vesindipity, especially towards the back half of the season. So overall, I give Skeledirge probably like a C- overall. Like I said, the entire goal was to reuse Skeledirge, to relearn it, and I just didn't. I think I even used it less effective than I did in season 1, which is kind of sad. We'll get to the Rashi in a moment. Vikavolt, hands down, in my opinion, I think it's a solid A. I think Bundle's the only A plus on my team. Vikavolt is exactly what I literally expected it to do. I expected it to come to 8 or 9 weeks. I expected to run the Fist F set. I expected to run the Sticky Web set. I expected to run the Choice Spec, like the offensive set, and to basically almost Vikavolt was supposed to come I'd say give or take 80% of games, maybe 75% of games with Honchkrow at 25%. And to be honest, Vikavolt did exactly that. Obviously it was the Fizz Def set at the very end, which I still very much love this set. Mental Herb was a really good shout by Nega, so I applaud to that. What else did we didn't bring Vikavolt for 3 weeks, which is kind of nuts. We didn't have any tears for like 3 weeks. That was crazy. Oh no, we did 2 weeks. Heavy Duty Boots is there. Skip that one. Another Heavy Duty Boot set. Overall, Vikavolt solid A. Exactly what I planned getting Vikavolt pretty really early on. As soon as as soon as I had Bundle, I'm like, okay, what do I want to pair with Bundle? I want a good solid electric type that can break the bulky, that can help break bulky waters, but can also threaten the grass types that Bundle's scared of. And that's when I literally thought of Vikavolt. So Vikavolt pretty well planned. Great Tusk, I got absolute value out of that thing. Getting that thing in what, round 7, I think it was. Round 6, Great Tusk, fantastic. I went up, I spent the points on Great Tusk. And it came to all but 1 week because it just didn't have that one matchup. I've used Great Tusk before. This is my second time using Great Tusk, and I think I used Great Tusk even better in this case than... yeah, I think overall I used it better. I wasn't as creative with this time using Great Tusk than I was last time. The only reason last time I was more creative was because it had Terra option. So it allowed me to be a little bit more creative. But Great Tusk, I ran the Stealth Rocks, I ran the Rapid Spin, I ran the Offensive, I ran the Choice Spin, whatever, the Bulk Up, ran a lot of Rapid Spin sets. Great Tusk, solid A. I'd argue A+, maybe even give Vikavolt an A-, give Great Tusk the solid A as the only A option. But overall, I love Great Tusk. I definitely see myself drafting it probably relatively soon. Probably going to be about the same time jump. Between Lana and I drafted it, so I drafted it about a year ago, and then now obviously in season 3 I drafted it. So about 7 or 8 month time gap, I'll probably draft it again, to be honest. Vesindipity, let's talk about it. I basically was really excited to use Vesindipity, and I really hated myself because I didn't like it for the first 8 weeks, basically, or the first 6 weeks. Basically, up until this point, up until this set right here, I didn't like Vesindipity, straight up. I was in the video talking about when Vesindipity does the sweep. I was literally talking about, when I was going to do the recap, Vesindipity was it was honestly it was on par with being with Honchkrow in the F tier. And then ever since this set, like this is a staple Shack set. Like this not only is getting recorded in for all history in the YouTube video, but it's also getting recorded now. This is a forever a Shack set, and I told Club this. I'm never letting this sit down. I fucking love this set, and I'm gonna try and bring it on. Trying to hope maybe do this edit and bring this set back. Cause this is honestly, this is the Shack set of the season, so for sure. I'm never letting this sit down. This set was specifically there to counter a +1 Sneasler, because or at +1 Serendipity, I would be able to kill a Sneasler from full, barring like 164 HP, like 32 Fizz Death. Even then, it's like a 93% chance to roll. Overall, hands down, my favorite set of the season, guaranteed. I don't think anything is beating that, to be honest. And then from that point on, it was just the Serendipity, like, boom, like things just clicked in Serendipity, and sadly, it just happened to be in the last like 3 weeks. I brought the heavy duty boost set with like double attacks, U-turn, roost, toxic chain went off, and several times. And then I brought the air balloon set, which is very, very techy. So, and sadly it didn't come to the championship, it just didn't really have a matchup, in my opinion. But Serendipity, I see myself drafting it now that I know to focus more on the niche sets. I think I was trying to force it too hard in the early part of the battles, and honestly, like I said, I wasn't getting that used to the team. And I just developed the use of the team and just learned how to use Serendipity. And I think honestly, Serendipity is going to be a very, very specific mon to whoever drafts it next. I don't see myself drafting it in season 4 unless it for some reason falls to me and the numbers all work out. Cause I do kind of want a toxic spiker and stuff like that, and maybe a different fairy type. But Serendipity, now that I understand that you need to bring the tech, you need to bring the heat, you need to be the counter. Like you need to make it more of a counter, but you can bring the offensive one, obviously like the Sneasler counter one. But you have to understand that that doesn't come very often. The tech comes 90% of the time, in my opinion. Like I said, Serendipity was going to be an F tier. That thing, purely based because I wasn't used to it yet, was going to be an F tier. And when I got used to it, I saw it was B-, and I can see that thing going up to an A for sure, for sure. Next up is Honchkrow, and straight up this is F tier. I like Honchkrow. It's honestly top 10 Gen 4 Pokemon for me, hands down. I really do like the Honchkrow line. The problem with Honchkrow on this team is it can be good. Absolutely. Scarf, Flying type, Brave Bird, Moxie, it can be good. The problem with that is there's a fast Dark type on this team, which it pairs with. But the problem is that Dark type is almost double its speed and also bulkier in Roaring Moon. And obviously Roaring Moon's a high value pig. I want to bring it more often, stuff like that. Have a lot better matchups. I could do a lot more things with it. So overall, that's just on me, team building wise. Just knowing that, like, hey, Roaring Moon's going to come a lot more than Honchkrow, even though they do roughly, they're a physical attacking Dark type that wants to end games. They do the exact same thing. So that's truly on me. I probably could have got a different Terra Captain, but honestly, I wanted a Flying type. So I just kind of went with it. Is what I could afford at the time. I'm okay with doubling up, especially a Dark type. I actually tend to double Dark up a lot, to be honest. But that was just a bad thing. Physical attack, breaker kind of Dark types. Pairing that with a Roaring Moon. Up next is Toadschool. Toadschool did exactly what I thought it was. I drafted Toadschool because the off chance that I play Toadschool, I don't fear it off initial when I'm looking at the team. However, when you get into those games with Toadschool, it becomes a problem mid-game, in my opinion. And that's honestly how I try to use it, to be honest. I use like the Expert Belt set, I use the Sports set like once or twice just towards the end game, and I became it more like, you don't, kind of put it on the back burner. They obviously people would bring like the ice move sets and stuff like that to counteract Toadschool because it's quite weak to ice. But I kind of brought it as a pseudo breaker. Didn't really bring it fully. I already say I brought it fully Fizz F. I think I brought it fully special defensive one time. I brought the obvious expert belt in the championship. But I kind of wanted to be the level of the mid game threat. Like, hey, this is kind of a problem. We have to deal with this kind of thing. Overall, Toadschool did exactly what I thought it was. I think I got decent value out of it. I think 8 is very, very respectable. It comes about half the games, and it becomes a mid game threat. Weirdeer, surprisingly, came more times than Honchkrow, which I was not expecting. I knew I would bring Weirdeer at least once, Um, because I'm that kind of person who's like I will always bring all my Pokemon no matter what. I'll try and I'll find the matchup that they work in. And obviously Weirdeer came in the same matchup, and then it came again versus Club. It didn't do much with this Salva set. Weirder is, I think it's deserving of 2 points. I'd argue it should probably be 3. I think if people actually truly know how to use the weird things, pun intended, the Weirder, I think it could be a 3 point, but it's about as value as I thought it was. And then we get to Jirachi. Now, I have used Jirachi at least once, if not twice before, so I'm comfortable with it. I used it way beyond the standards of what I thought it was going to be. I thought Bundle and Roaring Moon and Great Tusk and Skeledirge were going to be the focal points of the entire team, and boy was I wrong. Jirachi just came in. Now this could just be because I was learning how to use it, but like I always knew the Calm Mind Jirachi sets were definitely a thing. I just don't know if it's just because it got more boosting and stuff like that, or whatever. Maybe it's the meta game. There's no megas and stuff like that. I don't know. This is my second ever MVP. My other only one was a regular Blastoise prior to Shell Smash. So I'm kind of glad I got the MVP. It was a really, really good season for me. In essence, almost undefeated. Getting the MVP, getting the championship. Like overall, this is a very, very well season for me. Jirachi did exactly what not exactly what I thought it was gonna do. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more towards the Fizz Def side or the defensive side. Pairing with Skeledirge, Great Tusk, and Pheasantipity. But honestly, I mostly brought it bulky offense with support. Obviously the Calm Mind Iron Defense, Store Power set, and stuff like that. I did like 2 or 3 times, I believe. I brought it Stealthbox Wish one time. I brought the one time I brought it Choice Scarf, which was against Soup. So overall, Jirachi being the MVP is fantastic. I think I definitely got value out of it. I think people are going to start to understand like, hey, this thing is a problem if you don't have a counter to it. So draft a counter to this thing, otherwise you're going to lose. Overall, that's a breakdown of the teams. Week to week, I think week to week went overall pretty well. There wasn't anything too crazy, except for this fight, the Rini fight. I just really had a really, really bad matchup against Diplin, to be honest. I probably should have prepped better for it. Maybe it's just my team and the counteractors to, I just didn't have a counter to Diplin in. Honestly, definitely put Diplin on my radar, because it really wasn't on my radar now. I'm like, oh, cool, if I have 5 or 6 points, draft, and it fits, just draft Drip, whatever you want to call, Diplin. So overall, that's pretty there. Getting into the battle specifics, sorry. I think there wasn't anything too crazy. Sorry. Let me think. My least favorite video to produce is probably the Pheasantipity one, and the reason I say that is I don't know if it's my hair. I think it's honestly the Toad Scroll one. The reason I say Toad Scroll over Pheasantipity is because I love the Pheasantipity so much set. So like that video is always gonna have in mind of me like, hey, this is a funny fucking set. Go watch this video, even though it's like my lowest performing video of the season by a long shot. I think my least favorite thumbnail, to be honest, is probably the championship one. I thought it was pretty clever doing the skulls and the names. It's between this one and Roaring Moon. I just really didn't have a great idea. I really thought people would like this bundle one, not the bundle, anything but the bundle. It's the most common phrase. But hands down, my favorite video, and Soup's gonna fucking love this. So, get all excited and get all blushy, Soup. Hands down, my favorite video is I'm losing to a horse to a Zipstrika. That video was so much silence, but it spoke so much words at the same time, because there was that back and forth. The gears were turning. I would do something, I would think about it, and I would click a move, and then I would talk, and then I would no second guess, so I'd unclick it, but at the same time I unclicked, or soon after, Soup would click, and then he would think about his move, and then he would go back on it, then I would click in it. So like that 5-minute stretch is honestly one of my favorite freaking videos. It's my first time doing a long form content, like truly long form. It's was at the time was my longest video, and then I immediately broke it the next week. And I kind of backed off from doing the long videos. Um, or I guess there was also the Doom Desire one. But hands down, my favorite overall video. I wish I learned more editing styles with the Zipstrika video. I think if the Zipstrika video had the editing styles of the Manifest Destiny and the Championship, I think that would be hands down like by a long shot my favorite video. I honestly wish I was better at thumbnails. I'm very limited because I don't have Photoshop. But my favorite thumbnail by far was the bundled Desires Your Doom one. I think it looks so good. I think it will stand the test of time. I love the little hint of little Jirachi star in the top right. I wish I would have kept the theme. I literally had an idea for the championship one to keep the theme of the Pokemon Wi-Fi, and like this, and just change the colors. And then it just didn't look good. So I'm very sad I didn't keep that thematic going. Other than that, I'm pretty happy. To be honest, one of the videos that surprised me the most, like production wise, was the Diplin one. I don't understand why people watched it a fuck ton. I also don't understand why people didn't watch the Jirachi one, to be honest. But it just kind of depends. I do think that this one is one of my most creative titles. Sweet, Sticky, and Stuck by Diplin. I think it's very, very clever. But that being said, overall, hands down, I think it's a better season. I learned a fuck ton this season, while also learning on the fly. I learned how to truly edit. I learned how to do music. I learned how to make better clips. I learned how to do a team building style that I like and not just plastered in front. To be honest, I think I got better at thumbnail designs by a long shot as well. So overall, I'm super, super happy with the trajectory of this YouTube channel and where I'm going with Draft League. This was my 4th ever championship win. It's my and that is all of. I've been doing Draft League for about 7 years now. Almost to a T, actually. Almost to a T. It's been 7 years. Or yeah, it'd be 7 years in about 7 or 8 days. To be honest, I think it's when I met Brick. I think it was on April 19th. It might have been May 19th, but one of the two. It's basically within at bare minimum, it's less than a month away. So, and to have all 4 of my championships come in the last 3 years, which is insane. I have no intention of stopping. Draft League and Pokemon has been an all-time high for me. Like, basically since 2017, my love for Pokemon has only ever gone up and skyrocketed. I will admit I have faltered and I wanted to stop Draft League, but like doing the YouTube channel has like reinvigorated it. Like it basically, to me, it's a whole new metagame and a whole new style of how to look at Draft League. How do I make sets that look better on content? How do I make thumbnails look better so I can grow and stuff like that? With that being said, this is gonna be the end chapter of this video. However, this is not the end chapter of me. What I've thought about doing a couple things. One, PWBC Season 4, it's coming out. Probably draft analysis will most likely be next weekend. We've already started drafting, and I'll get into all these in a little bit, in about a week or so. We are starting up my other main league, which is UDL. I am tempted to record that. It's very much what I want to do to produce more videos and stuff like that to get better and stuff like that, but I just don't know time-wise. Most likely what's going to happen is I'm going to record it, but it's going to be a little bit less. It's not going to be as edited as PWBC because I want PWBC to be the main channel. And borrowing some things, I think I want to do a Draft League series, focusing on the importance of Draft League and the niches of Draft League and stuff they don't get talked about. Maybe like do short form, like 8-10 minute conflicts. I was like, hey, let's talk about this topic in Draft League and bring on guests, bring more of a podcast style, like the Pokemon Draft League podcast kind of thing. So that's what I have idea-wise. There's no slowing down, to be honest. I'm just starting to kick into high gear. I'm just starting to really learn how to video edit. I'm just starting to learn how to do all these tips and tricks, which are completely self-taught. I'm not watching any videos. I'm not getting any help. This is all just me. Just running at it and going crazy. With that being said, this is Shaq85 with the deep voice. Peace out. Thank you.